When you're sailing on a new ship, it can take you a few days to find things like where's the best place to eat your breakfast in the morning, where are the fun places to go on the ship,
and where to go for the best views. So instead of giving you a list of venues, we're going to take you along with us and show you all the awesome places to go that we found.
In this video, we're going to show you how to get the most out of the Serenade of the Seas from the top to the bottom.
All right, let's get started at the top.
The Serenade of the Seas has 13 decks. On the 13th deck, at the back of the ship, the stern, is the fairways of the Serenade.
Right, that's the miniature golf.
So you can do your miniature golf there. We had a lot of fun doing that on one of our sea days. And then as you make your way forward, the next thing you're going to come to is the rock climbing wall.
Right, that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing that. That was the first time.
He did it. I was impressed. And then as you continue forward, that's where you're going to find the Vortex. This is Vortex. It's a nightclub at the top of the ship on deck 13. I'm guessing they have it so far away in case you make a lot of noise when you're having a party. But what I like about this is that look at these windows. I can see myself sitting there on a glacier day or in Alaska looking out the front. Moving on down to deck 12, we're going to start this time at the bow of the ship, the front of the ship. So the front of the ship is the fitness center. And in the fitness center, you'll find cardio equipment, you'll find weights. And one of the things you noticed about the fitness center.
Yeah, windows all the way around the front of it. So while you're working out, you can watch the ocean go by, see some scenery.
And making your way out of the fitness center, there is a jogging track that was quite well used. And the jogging track looks down on the main pool deck. And one of the things you're going to find along the jogging track is lots of
Loungers there. So if you're looking for a little bit quieter spot to go hang out, that might be a good option.
And then if you continue back, that's where you're going to get to the sports deck. And on the sports deck,
Lots of pickleball going on there.
every time we're there, there's pickleball. There is a surprising area in deck 12. What did you find as the surprising area?
The top of the centrum, the roof of the centrum is like a little lounge area.
Yeah, we'll be sharing all about this centrum here in a minute. But this ship has a centrum that you can view all the way from decks 4 to deck 11. And this on deck 12, at the top of it.
Right, it's like the roof of the centrum, but it was kind of suspended in the middle, and you had to go in these little walkways to get to it. Very unique.
Yeah. And everybody was sleeping.
Yeah, it was definitely a quiet space.
If you want a place to take a nap, join your friend.
Go read a book there, drink some coffee or something.
Yep, it was great.
On to deck 11. Deck 11 is the heart of daytime activity on Serenade. There's a lot of things going on there. What are some of the things you can find?
So at the bow of the ship, the front of the ship, you're going to find the spa. And they have in the spa, they have a thermal suite. They have saunas. They, of course, have their rooms. They have a relaxation room. They do their massages, all the things they do in spas. And they also have a beautiful view of the ocean with glass out in the front. And then as you move your way back, you get to the Solarium, and in the Solarium is the Park Cafe. And we're going to I taped some video from the ship that we're going to share from that. This is the Solarium. It's an adults-only indoor pool area, and it's a very nice place to be when it's cloudy and icky outside. I'm thinking again, maybe a place I'd be if I were in Alaska. For light bites, there's the Park Cafe. So here you can there's like a salad that they'll make you a fresh salad. So if you want to avoid the buffet, this is one place you might come to, the Park Cafe. They'll also make you a fresh sandwich. Yum. Ooh, look they have a different kind of cookie. They have oatmeal raisin cookie. Let's get a couple.
So in addition to the Solarium and the Park Cafe, deck 12 is where you'll find the main pool deck. They've also got a big movie screen there.
One of the things they were playing when we were there was a football game. I have no idea what the football game was, but there was one going on. Before we continue our way back to the back of the ship, which is where the Windjammer Buffet is, I want to talk about a couple favorites that have to do with the Solarium. So the Solarium would be a favorite place to, again, find a quiet place to read a book, get a lounger. It's an adults-only pool, so there won't be any kids there. So that would be nice. Is there anything that was a favorite for you in that area?
At that little cafe there, they had cookies,
Yeah.
and they had a different flavor of cookie that we didn't find anyplace else on the ship.
Yep.
That was memorable.
That was memorable. And it was a nice place to just kind of hang out for a break.
On to the Windjammer.
So one of the things I want to talk about before we even get to the buffet is some seating that's right on the other side of where there's a washy-washy person giving you a squirt of hand sanitizer. So right on the other side of that, there's some outdoor covered seating for the buffet that is not crowded. So that's a good place to sit. And then on the other side, there's an indoor area that you can sit too. Again, there was hardly anybody sitting in it. I am going to give a tip right now though. So I just learned this and I have to share it. I don't even know if you know it. Hand sanitizer does not kill the norovirus, so you have to actually wash your hands. And one of the surprising things about the Serenade of the Seas is they don't have a wash basin right there. You have to actually go to the bathroom. So I'll be visiting. I just used hand sanitizer on this cruise, but in the future I'll be washing my hands.
Good tip.
Little tip along the way. Making our way into the buffet. Now, we're not going to give you a review of the food in this video, but if you have not subscribed yet, you might want to do so because we're going to be doing that in one of our upcoming videos. But we're going to make our way through the buffet, and where are we going to sit after we pick up an ice cream?
Right. We always found that and maybe a cookie. We always found that in the main buffet area around close to where the food was, tables and chairs usually were pretty full. But we found if you go past that, you go aft, you go to the stern of the ship, you go outside back there, a whole bunch of seating. It's beautiful. A lot of it is still covered. And we were able to find great seating out there most
every day, for morning and for lunch. That was great. So that was our favorite place to eat our breakfast and lunch. But what was our favorite place to play cards?
Oh, yes. So back in that same area at the stern of the ship, outside the Windjammer Cafe, there's Rita's Cantina. You go by that, and there's some booths and things that are set into the wall outside back there. Very comfortable, sheltered from, any wind, that type of thing. And we found a great spot there that we really enjoyed.
And here's something to know. That Rita's Cantina is where you can get an alcoholic drink, but it's also a place that you can get your specialty coffees. So you don't have to go down to Cafe Latitude that we're going to talk to here in a minute. You can actually get one right there on that deck.
Decks 7 through 10 are just cabins, so we're going to bypass those and go on to deck 6.
Yep, and again, we're going to start at the bow or front of the ship, and that is where you're going to find the Tropical Theater, which is the main theater on this ship. It is on floors 4, 5, and 6, and deck 6 is the balcony. This is the Tropical Theater. It's where they have their production shows and guest performers on decks 4, 5, and 6. And there's plenty of seating. We didn't have a problem finding a seat getting here even 10 minutes before the show.
Deck 6, outside the main theater, you'll find the cinema, where they do show kids and adults movies.
And I've never seen a cinema on any of the ships that we've been on. So that was kind of unique. Something to do on a sea day.
Yes.
We're midship on deck 16 right outside the casino, and this is the Crown and Castle Pub, a place where you can relax, have a pint of beer, or even beat your husband at a game of darts.
Right off the Crown and Castle Pub, you'll find the casino, and that has the usual array of slot machines, table games, roulette, those types of things.
Yeah, definitely plenty to spend your money on.
Yes.
We sat right outside the casino overlooking the Centrum at the center of the ship, and we found it to be very smoky. So that's a tip to avoid sitting right there if you can, because you're going to smell the smoke from the casino.
Right. Once you pass the Centrum, moving aft or back on deck 6, you'll come to the schooner bar.
That was my favorite decor on the ship.
Right, that was a cool theme.
Yeah, so it had like a vintage ship theme. They had above you, they had what would you say that was?
There's nautical shapes of ship's hulls and things like that. There was a lot of cool models and things in cases, and just they really went all out with the nautical theme.
It's great. And that is where they play trivia, and they did have a live musician. They had a woman playing a guitar in that area. And also, of course, there's a bar. There's a bar everywhere.
Heading aft out of the schooner bar, you come to the Safari Club. But right at the beginning of the Safari Club, you'll find a pair of pool tables. And the pool tables were a little unique, right? They had like a motorized gimbal system that was supposed to keep them level, but unfortunately, on our voyage, that was not functioning.
No, it worked in my favor, though, because it helped me to win. We're in the Safari Club, which you get to by going through the schooner bar. And in here, they have bingo, and they have other game shows throughout the day. This is Safari Club on deck 6, and you can see it's aft facing, but it has these really nice floor-to-ceiling windows that are perfect for glacier viewing.
Moving down one level to deck 5, this is where you'll find the helipad.
The helipad is great. On other ships we've been on, if they let you on the helipad at all, it's only certain times.
Right, it seemed very special and just for a small amount of time.
Yes, but on this ship, it's open all the time unless the weather doesn't permit. So if the weather doesn't permit, they don't let you out there. But one of the things we thought as soon as we saw this helipad was this is where we would be on a glacier viewing day. If we took the Serenade of the Seas to Alaska, we'd be out there all the time because it is just right there in the front of the ship, and it's huge.
We already mentioned the main theater, but a tip about that is that the main show times there are at 7 and 9 p.m.
Yep, so you'll want to schedule your dinner around those times. As you make your way back, now you're at the Centrum again. So the Centrum on deck 5 is where you're going to find Cafe Latitude. So Cafe Latitude has your specialty coffees, your specialty teas. It also has some food items. It has like small bites, so sandwiches, and it has
cookies.
It does have some cookies and other sweets. All the food is included, so that's included with your fare. As far as your specialty coffees, whether there or up on the deck 11, those are for fee. So if you have the drink package, they're included in the drink package. Otherwise, you would pay a la carte for those drinks. If you are a shopper when you're on a cruise, the shops of the Centrum are located on deck 5, and there's a lot of different shops throughout that area.
Deck 5 is where you'll find the promenade, which is one of our favorite places because we were able to get in a little bit of shuffleboard outside.
Yep, and it's a great place for a walk. It's less windy because when you're up on the jogging track, it can get really windy up there. So this is a more covered area that goes all the way around. So that's something kind of unique to older ships like the Serenade of the Seas, having that outdoor promenade area, and we really enjoyed that as a favorite walk area. Couple favorites from deck 5 that we just zipped right by is one is the view of the Centrum from deck 5. So the view of the Centrum is amazing because you can look down at whatever live entertainment or game show is going on, and then you can look all the way up to deck 11, and it's just so impressive. I think it's one of the most impressive Centrums that we've ever seen.
Yes.
Just because it's so tall, right? It's like no other ship I've been on has been that tall. And then this is a great place for people watching. There's so many people drinking their coffee, having their little daytime snack. Yeah, so this is a place if you just want someplace to sit, drink your coffee. Lots of people will join you because it's popular. This is a reflection, the main dining room. And you can see I really love this decor with this white. It just pops. And the food in here was delicious. Pro tip, the servings are really big, so think about it before you order 3 mains. We had an early dining time, so we did make reservations, and we had an early dining time, and the early dining was 4:45, which I like to eat early, but that was kind of early for me. But the good thing was...
Yeah, they do hold the table for 15 minutes, and we usually had no problem getting there by 5 o'clock, so that wasn't an issue.
Yes, and on this sailing, it was not full, so even like the table next to us, there was never one sitting there. Here's another tip, though. So you can have reserved dining, which is on deck 5. They also have a dining table on deck 4. That's the kind where you just show up anytime you want. You can show up anytime you want, but if you show up like between 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock, you're probably going to have to wait because people do come early to dine because they want to go to the 7 o'clock show. And then the people also go so they can go to the 9 o'clock show. So you kind of have to think about when are the first people going to be done eating and when are the second people going to be seating, how crowded it's going to be when you make your choice of your anytime dining. My suggestion is this. If you're going to do anytime dining on deck 4, I would go talk to the maitre d' on the first day and say, what's a good time to come so that we're going to be able to sit down when we get here so you're not waiting in line.
On deck 4, you'll also find one of the levels of the theater. And then moving aft from the theater,
you get to the Centrum. Now, this is the bottom level of the Centrum. This is the floor level. This is where you're going to find a bar called R Bar, R, the letter R, then bar. And this is where they have game shows, they have live music throughout the day. And this is a place where if you want a seat,
right, you better get there earlier than we did. We got there 15 minutes early a couple of times, and we couldn't find a seat on deck 4. We had to go up levels to try and find some seating.
So the day that we had a game show, I think we were there a half an hour early because I knew I'd want to play in a game show. Something I found very interesting on the ship was a card room. And in that card room, there were a lot of people in there playing cards. Not organized cards, just people sitting and playing cards in that room. And it had really nice lighting. I think I would find another place on the ship to play cards in one of the lounges that are not busy during the day. But if you want a table to play cards at, that was a place to go.
We had a great time on the Serenade of the Seas.
And if you want to come along and see everything that we did in our 5-day repositioning cruise, watch this playlist next. Happy sailing!
Okay.
None of this.
I had to itch myself. Oh my gosh. It rubbed my belly.